Welcome to the world of warships with Captain Yamo. I am your host, Captain Yamo, the babbling captain. And this is the Tier 7 Japanese cruiser, the Myōkō. I realized I'm getting really close to being able to sell this thing and pick up the Mogami, one of my favorite ships in beta, finally. And so I thought I'd do... Oh, wow. I thought I'd try and do a lazy-eyed gunnery demonstration here. And also give you my impressions on the Myōkō. At Tier 7, I think that the Myōkō is a strong Tier 7 ship. I like it better than I like the Pensacola. It has more turrets than the Pensacola. And so I always like the ability to take more shots as opposed to fewer shots from your turrets. It has torpedoes, which the Pensacola does not have. Oh, we're going to have to switch over to AP. So, I keep talking about lazy-eyed gunnery. Maybe I ought to explain a little bit about what that is. While playing this game, I've noticed that it was getting really hard for me to make consistent and accurate shots on enemy ships. And by paying careful attention to what was going on around me, I figured out a way of using the information available to make me more accurate. The way I do that is, first of all, I use the first zoom that has vertical motion on it. The reason I use that zoom instead of the complete zoom, bigger field of view. I can see more in it. See more butts. The second thing you need to know is that when you fire, these little markers to the left and right of center of your aim are an indication of where your shells will land, particularly if your enemy is going broadside to you. You have to pay attention to how fast they're moving. That will affect it. Oh, here we go. Maybe I can engage this Nuremberg. Just got to watch out for that New Mexico, or the two New Mexicos. They will floor. Let's just go ahead and launch our little fighter craft, and we'll start aiming in on the Nuremberg. Not real familiar with the Nuremberg yet. Don't know how fast she travels. Oh, there's the bombers. And so I'm going to guess that if I put her on about the 5, we'll get us a hit. Let's see what we get here. Now watch where the shells go. They're actually landing right about on 6. So, what lazy-eyed gunnery will say is, if he's not about to run into the blue line, I put the lead on him at about 6, and I should hit him. But since they haven't fixed the border humping problem, that is not the case, and that is purely a guess. And so I have no idea where those went. So let's see if I can demonstrate on this New Mexico, who is barely moving. If you can see the smoke coming out of the smokestack, barely moving. So I'm going to say it's right about, I don't know, right about 4. But that's completely zoomed in. Oop. Yeah, good guess. So if his speed stays the same, and it looks he might be speeding up, but I'll make it 4.5. And I really should be firing HE at that target. Nope. Nuremberg's decided to show himself again. Nope, she's turning. And the Nuremberg is thrashing me. So I guessed 5 was pretty close last time, so we'll say 6. I'm going to put the 6 about where I want to hit that Nuremberg. And now I'm going to get the hell out of Dodge. And I'm going to watch my shells. And where do they land? Without moving my aim at all, look at that. They landed about the 4 to the 4.5. So the next time I take aim on the Nuremberg, and she's traveling at that pace, you see the smoke coming off of her, I want to put her at 4.5. Kind of like I put the New Mexico. Lazy-eyed gunnery is helpful, particularly when a ship is broadside to you. In fact, we're going to go ahead and switch over now. 4.5. Using this method has allowed me to hit, you know, destroyers at range. It's helped me out with hitting all kinds of targets. It makes it a lot easier to do what you're trying to do. You know, who would have thought hitting your target important? My gun's finally... Oh, see, she sped up or something, because that was hitting around 5. So, adjust your aim. There we go. And that's a little demonstration of lazy-eyed gunnery for you. On to the Myoko. I thought, since I'm about to get rid of the Myoko and move on to the Mogami, like I said, I ought to tell you what I think. I think she's a strong Tier 7 ship, if such a thing can be said. This is a strong ship. See, we got some happenings going on over here at the base. Let's see if I can't go back and help at that Nolans. We'll switch over to AP. That's just the tool to use against an enemy cruiser. I guess I can lock my guns here. You lock your guns with Control and X. And then you can use X to unlock them at any time. So the Myoko, it has 10-kilometer range on its torpedoes. They fully upgraded. They run at 62 knots, and they do 17,000 points of damage. They're pretty strong. Of course, you have your little fighter aircraft that'll help you when you get bombarded. I choose to have the hydro acoustic search, but you can also do an improved anti-aircraft barrage from your guns. Oh, she's moving pretty good, and she's turning. So once you get lazy-eyed gunnery down, the rest of it starts to become figuring out how these other ships are moving. So I think that's going to end up going starboard of her, or my port of her. No, I got a little hit on her. And at this angle, it's going to be hard to hit citadels. It's going to be hard to get tickle shots. But as that Nolans straightens out, maybe I'll get some in on it. Ooh. See, I'm bouncing off of her. I might have to switch to HE if I can't get her to straighten out. Oh, nice shooting. There we go. That's what I was looking for. She took out my engine. There we go. Citadel, baby. Lazy-eyed gunnery for the win, yeah? Try it. It works. New Orleans, Tier 8. You notice I'm really not afeared her. Now that Amagi is starting to worry me, and maybe I ought to repair. Yeah, I'll repair. And that Cleveland is actually a pretty big worry. Hopefully I can get out of the Cleveland's line of fire for a minute and let some of these tools come back up. Oh, no chance. But it looks like we're in a position to come out of this all right. Can I switch over to that Matsuki? Cool Whip. Or if I'm Stewie, Cool Whip. Let's see what Cool Whip can do here. Although it looks like this guy, Astray, Flame, the Aramagi is probably the guy to watch with his 3 kills. Where is he at? Nice. Look at this thing. Wargaming, you guys have done an amazing job with this game. It's not perfect, Don't let it go to your head, but it is an incredible game. Especially for free. I mean, it's as a quarter jockey, this kind of stuff is just amazing to me. You know, I used to have to walk a half a mile down to the liquor store with $1 to play 4 video games. I was telling my son earlier today, I could have had a soda and a candy bar, but instead I would get 4 quarters and play video games like Galaga and Pac-Man and Gauntlet and all those other wonderful arcade games. Meanwhile, look at what I get to play for free at home now. I don't even have to walk anywhere. It's awesome. If you get the chance to unlock the Myōkō, I highly recommend it. It's a great ship. But I'm looking forward to getting the Mogami back. Let me tell you. That is something else. What else can I tell you about the Myōkō? It has a 780 meter turn radius, 9.6 second rudder shift. It can travel at, I think it's 32 knots. Here, I can check that. We'll check that over here. There we go. Oh no, 35 knots. 35 and a half seconds. 35 and a half seconds. You can tell how tired I am. 35.6 knots with that 9.3 second rudder shift time. 780 meter turn radius, like I said. Its primary armaments are the 203 millimeter guns, which are fantastic. If you can put AP shells into an enemy cruiser with those things, you can do a ton of damage like I did to that Nolans. Of course, it has torpedoes. It's a well-rounded ship, in my opinion. I would much rather be sailing the Myōkō than the Pensacola. Hands down, much rather have it. But the Mogami is calling me. It's saying, Steven, you need this. I used to call my Mogami in the beta, in the closed beta, I used to call the Mogami the Drew Barrymore because it was an absolute fire starter. So, hopefully I'll have a video of that up as soon as I can work up enough silver for it. And this guy in the Amagi is just thrashing him. He's flying a little bit of flare. Looks like equal speed and the cost of repair. Equal speed Charlie London gives you plus 50% XP, which is pretty massive. And then it looks like the other flag he's flying, I don't know the name of it, but it's to reduce the cost of repairing your ship after a battle by 5%, which is also pretty useful, especially in a bigger ship like this battleship. I'm sure it's pretty expensive to pay for it when it gets sunk. Now, Mr. Cool Whip looks like he's moving in on that Cleveland. Let's see if we can see some action here. Oh, he's gone. "70 volleys later, Fazar in the Colorado." I haven't unlocked the Colorado, didn't do it in the beta either, and so I have no idea how good or bad it is, but I hear that it's pretty rough. I've got the Wyoming in elite status, so it's ready to go on. I'm ready to go on into the New York, but until I buy the Mogami, I'm not paying for any other ships. Mogami or bust. So you might be wondering what's so good about the Mogami. Well, the Mogami has 5 turrets, a lot like the Myōkō, and in the unupgraded version of the turrets, it has 155 millimeter guns instead of 203s. So you have 15 guns that are relatively rapid firing, set fires unbelievably. With the Mogami, I would happily take on Tier 7 and 8 battleships with HE and just cook them. Just turn them into a big barbecue. Light them on fire from bow to stern and just whoop them up. So I will probably have a video of the Mogami up before Halloween, I would imagine. Let's see, can we shift over? Nope, wrong carrier. Yeah, the Ryujo here really does, the Ryujo really needs to move. Look at this. She's going backwards. She's about to get sunk. Fish in the water, fish in the water. Well, that's one way to do it. Carrier captains, your ships have engines for a reason. I know it's easier to hide your ship somewhere and then concentrate on your aircraft. But that's probably not the most effective way to use them. But listen to me talk, right? Like I play a lot of aircraft carriers. I guess to be a well-rounded player, I probably should unlock carriers and start playing with them, but the gameplay on them is pretty boring to me. Nothing, no hits. Come on, Cool Whip. Get your second kill here, buddy. Of course, a Japanese ship using guns on an American ship. A Japanese destroyer using guns on an American destroyer. Not a great trade-off. But it looks like we'll come down with the victory anyway, so let's see how we did in our short little jaunt. That's with the top 1.5 times, but let's see. 60 hits. 2 incapacitations, 2 tickle shots, and 2 sunk. How do we do on our team? 1,500, almost 1,500 XPs. All right. It's almost as well as the Amagi on the enemy team. So look, we got 48, so it's like 62 of 146 hits. I'll take it. We ended up making 94,000. Yeah, see, with auto repair on, it cost $55,000 or silver to pay for a sunk ship. We still made a hefty 100,000 profit. It's going to take us a bit to get the money we need for the Mogami, but we're working our way towards it. I'd like to thank you for joining Captain Yamo in the World of Warships. I hope you'll go and download the game from Wargaming. It's fun to play. Come and join me. Maybe you can sink me. Maybe I could sink you. Fair seas to you.